Hello, and welcome to 2024 from Inspiring Workplaces. In fact, Happy New Year. I don't know if you know, but it's customary in France, where I have some family, to actually say Joyeux Noël, Happy New Year, until the end of January. So we've still got a few more days left, and it's a custom that I love because you're just sending positive vibes to everybody for a whole month into the new year. So Happy New Year, everybody. I'm Matt Manners, founder and CEO of Inspiring Workplaces, and this is our first event of the year, and really looking forward to getting stuck into it. But I wanted to quickly run through what we actually have in store for you, our community, in 2024. So starting with today's webinar, we go on to have at least 8 more online events with actually over 100 speakers by the end of the year. And all of those videos and all that content will be made free to the community as we go throughout the year across different important topics in the world of work. We'll be bringing you 10 ebooks, award-winning case studies, our podcast, the Inspire Club returns. We're going to launch our diagnostic and our consulting services to a limited number of organizations. We'll be ramping up activity. You can meet each other and share helpful tips and get to know one another. And lastly, we obviously have our Top Inspiring Workplaces Awards, now open all over the world, 7 regions from North America, UK and Ireland, Europe, Latin America, Asia, Middle East and Africa, and Australia and New Zealand. So really, truly global. That deadline for your chance to be known as an top inspiring workplace is a month ago yesterday. So you still have plenty of time to go find out what you need to do to have a chance of being known as one. Oh, and we have our Work Tech Awards, which Blueboard, one of our partners, is known as a top work tech vendor around the world, and the Inspiring Leaders, which is the more personalized awards program instead of the Top Inspiring Workplaces. So we have a lot for you. As the team and I believe, we're here to serve, and serve you we will do. We'll do our best throughout the year and into the years to come. So to today, and why you're all here, not to listen to me, no doubt, but our talk is on elevating employee milestones to supercharge engagement in 2024. And it's being led by the brilliant Natasha Waheed. Natasha is the head of content at Blueboard. As you're about to discover, she's a natural storyteller who found her niche helping companies connect to their audiences, through thoughtful communication. She believes in building spaces, both personal and professional, where people can be their full selves without fear or shame, something we truly believe in. She's a seasoned speaker who's presented at marketing conferences across the US and is an alum of the incredible Shine Bootcamp. And Natasha tells us to Google it, so Google it we must. When she's not writing words to work, you'll find Natasha hiking in the British Columbia Mountains, or BC Mountains, which is on my bucket list, reading, laughing with friends, guzzling black coffee, and chasing sunshine. So more about the talk, elevating employee milestones to supercharge engagement in 24. Are you being asked to drive efficiency, make sure employees are engaged and drive business outcomes? Sound familiar? But doing it for less money or while companies cutting costs? If so, you're very much not alone, and any people program you introduce has to have a strong impact on the employee experience. One place to start, as we're going to discover, is with employee recognition. And that's where I'm going to hand over and say welcome to Natasha. Hello.
Hi, Matt. Thank you so much for the introduction. I'm so excited to be here with y'all.
Excited to have you here, and that's why I'm going to leave and let you do your thing.
Sounds like a plan. Well, hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining today. Like Matt said, I'm Natasha. I lead content, product marketing, brand at a company called Blueboard. And today we're going to talk about exactly what Matt said, how you can elevate employee milestones to really accelerate engagement in 2024. If you are not familiar with Blueboard, we are a rewards and recognition company, but we specialize in experiential rewards. And so when I say experiential rewards, what I'm talking about are curated experiences. So anything from a nice dinner out with your partner, to a day at the amusement park with your kids, to a bucket list trip to Ireland to chase the Northern Lights, all paid for by your employer and planned by a Blueboard concierge. So at a high level, what we're going to talk about today is a little bit of what Matt already alluded to. We're going to start with the current HR and work landscape. And then we're going to speak to the power of rewards and recognition within that context, and specifically why employee milestones matter so much. And then we'll talk a little bit about how to build the right kind of recognition program for your company. And we'll end with the impact of experiences and why elevating milestones with experiences can take you so far. And then we'll wrap it up with Q&A. So this statement on this slide is not going to come as a surprise or anything revolutionary to all of you here, I am sure. But at the end of the day, your employee experience is your organization's most valuable tool. It is what is driving your organizational success. And if you need a little bit more evidence to that, there is Gallup data that shows that 84% of the value of an S&P 500 company comes from the talents, the skills, the knowledge, the work ethic, and the health of its employees. We're talking real dollars and cents when we're talking about building an ideal employee experience. But again, like Matt said, and like we alluded to in the description of this session, and like you all know and are experiencing, it's getting harder than ever to level up the employee experience, given all of the challenges we're navigating right now. Everything you're seeing on the screen is just a few things. I heard this term this morning, the hybrid malaise. We're still navigating where and when to work. We are facing new tech, new tools, AI, and the pressures to upskill and reskill. We are facing inflation. We have 5 generations in the workforce, all with different expectations. And we're trying to navigate all of this and still create a great employee experience. Of course, all while we are getting pressures from everywhere to drive employee productivity, increase efficiency in general, make sure you balance those employee and company needs, and of course, do it with less money, cut costs at the same time. This means that every single people program you introduce has to have a strong and precise impact on the employee experience. So where does recognition fit into all of this? Well, recognition done well can do exactly that. Companies we work with who look at recognition as a strategic lever are having outsized impact on employee engagement and performance. And I like to think about this as kind of a holistic machine, right? Recognition and rewards are just one piece of how you're driving engagement. All of these things are working together. At a very baseline, your company mission, values, purpose, the core of who you are and what you're trying to do is vital. Of course, how you're paying your people, pay equity. You have to be paying people enough that rewards and recognition is actually going to have an impact. Your leadership culture and strategies and the energy that comes down from the top, the way people are connecting with each other and building relationships. Of course, there are opportunities for growth and development. And like I said, rewards and recognition can be a key tool. But rewards and recognition is often something that companies are looking at as kind of just a check the box motion, right? It's something that we can overlook and not necessarily spend the time to really get the impact that we can get out of it. Because when we do rewards and recognition right, it can actually accelerate this whole engagement machine. It can amplify everything. And we see that in the data, right? This is data from Gallup and it's data from Great Places to Work. And it's basically showing us the impact on employee loyalty, employee engagement, and a key thing that we're all looking for right now is that willingness to go above and beyond. When resources are constrained, when we're working with leaner teams and leaner budgets, we really need our people to stretch, to give us even more discretionary effort. And rewards and recognition can really help you drive this. But I want to talk about milestones specifically within this context. And we're going to go on a little journey, an employee journey, to sort of imagine this and think through why milestone moments do matter so very much. So imagine you are in HR at a high growth tech company. This may very well be a reality for many of you. Now think about one of your top performers. In this example, we're going to call them Chloe. And Chloe's been at your company for almost 3 years. Now, 3 years in the tech space, we know this is a linchpin milestone. On average, people are turning over in tech between 2 years and 3 years. So we're just going to keep that in mind. And again, Chloe is someone you really don't want to lose. Now let's think about Chloe's journey with your company, right? Day one, Chloe starts. She's super excited to start a new job, telling everybody about it, can't wait to jump in, learning, ramping, meeting new people. It's very exciting. And then we go on this journey and we hit the 1 to 2 year mark. Things are happening in Chloe's personal life as well. And they're starting to evaluate their experience with the company, right? They're seeing more things and they're asking questions like, is this what I thought it was? What's the direction the company is going in? Where is it headed? Is this the right place for me? And as Chloe continues on this journey with your company, again, there are things happening in Chloe's life, personal things, and all of this is impacting their relationship with your organization. Maybe they move, maybe they decide to have kids, get married, do all the things that we do in our lives. And of course, things are also happening within your company. Ups and downs, changes. In the past 3 years, we have all navigated in the workplace so many changes, and that is still happening. And these factors are all influencing Chloe, right? At the same time, Chloe's a top performer. We know this is a reality. Recruiters are all over them on LinkedIn all the time, offering them alternatives, choices. So Chloe's approaching this 3 year mark, this linchpin milestone, and they're thinking, is this still the company I want to be at? They're evaluating their relationship to your company. And so this moment, this milestone moment, is an opportunity to really meet Chloe where they're at and re-engage them. Now think about the full employee lifecycle with your company from day 1 to year 15, 30, 45, and all of the things that happen in life, all of the ups and downs, all of the things in work. These milestone moments, whether they're personal milestones, whether they're workplace milestones, they offer this opportunity for you to either meet your employees and elevate the employee experience and drive that engagement and retention, or on the flip side, to miss these milestones, miss the opportunity to acknowledge those moments and face negative impact on the employee experience. There's also a negative cost when we ignore milestone moments because they are so important to us as humans. And of course, this is just one employee's journey, right? But most of us are at companies with more than one person, with maybe many, many employees. And so all of our employees are having these milestone moments. They're experiencing this journey at different stages, different times. So as an organization, not only are you trying to meet these milestone moments because they present this incredible opportunity, but you need to be able to do it at scale across your employee base. And that's where a really smart recognition program can help you do this and do it really well. So let's talk about how we build a program like that. Rewards and recognition program design is a robust discipline, I would say, but we're going to talk kind of high level about how you can start to approach this. First, we have to acknowledge that a lot of rewards and recognition programs right now are just lacking. And like I mentioned in the beginning, it's often because companies aren't necessarily thinking about rewards and recognition as a tool to really drive engagement and really impact the employee experience. It's more of just like, we know everyone's doing it, we should be doing it. And that leads to programs that have really high administrative burden, that are not cost effective, right? We're spending money on things, but we're not really seeing the return. Or maybe they feel outdated and underwhelming, right? Like some of the prizes that we give people are more about us as the company, less about the employee. Something we see often is inconsistent structure. So maybe some departments have a culture of recognition, but others don't, and that leads to inequity in the workplace. All of this creates a vacuum almost around your rewards and recognition program. So step one, when we are thinking about designing a program that is going to drive real impact, is about aligning to the goals that are going to drive your business forward. These are just some of the goals that we talk to people about all the time, that we hear from people coming in. Everything from we're really focused on attracting and retaining to actually we're in a really competitive market and our employer brand is super important. So we need to focus on programs that are going to make us look really good and keep our people really happy so those Glassdoor reviews go up. Maybe you're really focused on boosting engagement and morale. A lot of companies are going through hard times right now. Maybe you've just experienced a RIF and you need to introduce something that is going to remind your employees that you value them. So all of this is important. Your goals are important because recognition programs are not one size fits all. They need to be designed with your unique company and your unique dynamics in mind. So when we're thinking about program design, we like to take company structure into account and also company dynamics. And of course, like I just mentioned, your recognition goal or your overall recognition goals. And those pieces together will really drive the output of program design. I am a big fan of frameworks. And so what we do once we kind of evaluate company structure, company dynamics, and your overall goals is feed all of that through an actionable framework. So we built a framework at Blueboard called the Blueboard method. And I think Chloe she just did. So she just shared a blog that goes deep in depth on this methodology. We also have a workbook that you can sink your teeth into and really unpack what this looks like and how you can deliver programs that are designed in this way. But it's really just designed to help you understand the 3 dimensions of recognition. These are based on known recognition best practices. So we're talking about day-to-day, peer-to-peer appreciation combined with informal recognition, combined with formal recognition. I'm not going to go too in-depth on this framework here and now, but please dig into that blog post. There's so much information there. The idea is that we want to build a holistic program that inspires and engages all of our people, but also delivers different kinds of recognition at different moments, going back to milestones, right? And it is designed to help you build a program that is right for you and that allows for consistent and equitable recognition. That is ultimately the goal. But I want to go back to milestones for a minute, because when we are thinking about milestones, one of the easiest programs that you can introduce and that you should consider are work anniversary awards. Now, a lot of companies are already doing year of service awards, anniversary awards, but again, we're not necessarily thinking about them as like a real tool to impact employee experience and drive engagement. But the thing is, with each passing year, your employees are becoming more and more valuable to your organization as they gain skills and institutional knowledge, as they build relationships, and their expectation for what they are going to get from you is also increasing year over year. So these particular milestones are actually really important, and they offer an opportunity for you to impact your people right at the moment when they are taking stock, right? Anniversaries are a time where we reflect, we think about the past year, we think about the coming year. It's a natural inflection point. And so work anniversary awards that are really intentional can allow you to meet these critical milestone moments and re-engage, re-recruit your people, again, at a point that's really important. So just a little bit in terms of structuring an anniversary program. These are what we like to call formal programs within the context of the Blueboard method. So these sit at the top. They are generally owned by a central team, usually the HR team or maybe the leadership team. And they're all about, again, celebrating your people when they hit their company anniversary, when they hit that marquee milestone moment. When it comes to the benefits of a program like this and the goals of a program like this, going back to our initial slide on goals, These programs are really helpful when it comes to emphasizing loyalty and commitment as important to your company, right? You're saying, hey, you choosing to be here with us for another year actually really matters to us. Here's how we're going to meet you in this moment. These programs are also really nice because they are equitable and consistent. So this is a program that is going to impact all of your people. And there are, of course, different programs that you might want to introduce to really encourage particular behaviors or reward performance. This kind of program is about rewarding commitment and loyalty. And of course, it elevates these milestone anniversaries as truly special occasions. So when it comes to our goals, this allows us to reduce attrition and is really supporting us in becoming an employer of choice. It's building that employer brand. A few best practices, you've heard me say this already when you're designing an anniversary program. Again, because these programs are fairly simple structurally, they can quickly become a check the box motion, but we want to avoid that, right? We want to think about how we can make these moments really special. And that comes down to how we design programs, what types of milestone years we want to reward, and how we surround those milestone moments with other things, and I'll talk about this a little bit more in the third point, with a little bit of fanfare. Middle point, it is really important to diversify the award value as the years progress. Going back to the reality that your employees are gaining value as the years go by. They are becoming more valuable to your company, and their expectations for how they're met at those milestone moments are increasing. It's really important not to just reward $100 or $100 value reward at every single milestone, right? Someone who's been at your company for 15 years versus 1 year, they're going to have different expectations, and they also have different skills that are really valuable to your company. So think about that when you're designing your programs. And then finally, it's really important to set your managers up for success and involve them in these programs. And this goes back to how you make these moments meaningful. So the reward itself, the program itself is hugely important, but also how we surround those moments, right? It is so important for us as humans to receive authentic recognition from the people we work closely with. And we know that manager to employee recognition is the most desired and the most impactful, right? That relationship is so important. So when you're thinking about your anniversary programs, think about how you can leverage automation. And any vendor you work with will help you do this. This is kind of like a table stakes feature. But how do you automate your program enough so that you can notify managers with enough advance notice that they can actually do a little bit of extra, they can do something extra around the anniversary. And I'll give you an example of this. This LinkedIn post, one of my direct reports, Courtney, she had her year anniversary. And because of the way our program at Blueboard is structured, I was able to know about it, get a reminder that her anniversary was coming up a week in advance, so I could put together what I wanted to do for it. Courtney's our social media manager, so I wanted to do something on social. I was able to gather photos, write a really thoughtful post about it. And an additional bonus of this is not only does Courtney receive that public recognition, not only do all of our teammates and folks in her network and my network get to see that and cheer it on and like it and comment on it, but it also generates buzz around your program itself. It creates this halo effect of visibility just in this public recognition, right? It has legs and it creates this curiosity. So when candidates are searching for your company, they can actually see how people are talking about you and how you're celebrating your people. So it has this ripple, and we'll talk about that more in a little bit. And this brings me to why we believe so much in experiences as rewards, particularly at these crucial milestone moments. Again, there are different reward types that you can use for different moments and different goals. But when we're talking about milestones, traditional methods are often falling flat. Like, we have people coming to us at Blueboard with the same rhetoric, right? They're like, cash is not that exciting. It kind of disappears into a paycheck. Gift cards, again, they're fine. They're fungible, but they don't feel that meaningful stuff. We know that 40% of corporate swag ends up in landfills. Branded swag is a huge favorite at anniversaries, and sometimes this is hugely meaningful, but we also need to consider, again, what are we trying to accomplish? What are we trying to make our employees feel? Because real impact at milestone moments happens when kind of three things coalesce: when the rewards are highly visible, when they feel novel, and when they satisfy a want versus a need. This is backed in science, it's backed in psychology and research. This is like how we make our rewards stand out from the noise. And experiences are particularly powerful across all three of these. Like I mentioned a little bit in my example about Courtney's anniversary, experiences actually extend that amplification, right? They drive visibility more than any traditional reward type because they get people talking. People are more likely to share and post about an experience that they had than a cash bonus that they got. And teammates see this. When someone else hits a milestone, they see how it's recognized and celebrated, and all of this visibility creates internal awareness around your rewards and recognition program, and it boosts participation. It creates connection to your culture, to your team, because people can see, oh, my coworker just hit their anniversary. They went to a Raptors game. I love the Raptors, right? You can see how all these little moments of spark and connection start to form. And those posts, those artifacts, those images, you can take those as the employer, with consent, of course, and use them to build your employer brand like we talked about earlier. All of that matters when it comes to driving long-term program impact. Secondly, experiences feel novel. Again, going back to these moments that matter, if it's standard stuff, it won't necessarily feel different. Where experiences look and feel totally different from compensation. And because of that, they actually feel more like a reward. They sit in our brains, they trigger our brains differently. Imagine you're scrolling through a curated menu of experiences. That is going to light your brain up in a very different way than if you're scrolling through a catalog of stuff, because you're starting to actually imagine yourself doing something that maybe you've always wanted to do. And then lastly, experiences, we are much more likely to use an experiential reward to satisfy a want versus a need. Again, the best gifts are often things that we wouldn't have gotten for ourselves. We wouldn't have spent money on for ourselves. And right now, it is so easy to funnel your cash bonus or your gift card into things that you need. And that is really important. And this goes back again to making sure that our employees are compensated in a way that allows them to live well. But when you have high income earners, especially hitting milestone moments, a cash bonus is very likely going to go toward bills, toward needs, where again, an experience sits separate from that. It goes into a different mental account, and we can use that reward to actually have a reward. And the benefits of doing something for ourselves, with our families, with our loved ones, is huge. And it actually increases the perceived value of the reward because we're more likely to use it on a want than a need. So in our minds, again, we can have rewards that are of equal monetary value, but the experience is going to feel more valuable. So that all adds to elevating the milestone moment. And the final point around experiences and why we believe in them so much is also because they ripple, right? With most gifts, the exchange kind of happens and the impact stops. But because experiences are so visible, because we can share them with people, because they are memory creators, they have this rippling impact into your employees' lives and rippling back into your organization, right? And that all amplifies, going back to the business driving goals that we're trying to achieve. They have longer term impact, and all of that is going to come back to your company. And this is actually research backed, right? We ran research that looked at the impact on the employee experience of different types of rewards. And what we found is that experiential rewards have almost 4 times more positive impact on the employee experience than other types of rewards. Now, this isn't to say that people don't love cash bonuses, love gift cards, all of these serve a purpose. But again, when we're looking at the things that will really impact employee experience and really extend that sense of afterglow, is what we call it at Blueboard, that positive feeling of that positive sentiment and connection that employees have with your organization, and their overall sense of well-being, satisfaction, motivation, all of that lasts longer with an experiential reward. Okay, that was really what I wanted to go through today. I'll leave you with a few final takeaways. Of course, right now, it's super important that we prioritize people programs that are going to have outsized impact on our employee experience. Rewards and recognition are a lever that you can pull. They are something not to be ignored. Secondly, if you are going to go for building a rewards and recognition program or reassessing your rewards and recognition program, make sure you rally around your goals. Get stakeholder buy-in and alignment on those goals, and keep your program centered on driving impact on those goals. And finally, of course, think about how you can amplify recognition impact, elevate those milestones with experiences over other types of rewards. All right, y'all. Thank you so much. I will stop talking at you and hold to see if we have any questions. I am happy to answer them, and just really appreciate your time today.
Thank you so much. So interesting and a great way to kick off our online content for the beginning of the year. There was a lot in there to unpack, but I think one of the takeaways I had was one of the things that we saw coming more online in 22, 23 was around the personalization and how overwhelming that could be for people. But what you took us through there, it seems that it doesn't have to be overwhelming, and the impact on all those different business areas and the individual themselves can be huge.
Yes, absolutely. And I think you see a lot of that rhetoric in rewards and recognition right now because it's real. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for choice. We're looking for flexibility as employees. So I think gone are the days of employers deciding on a gift and giving that gift. Maybe not entirely. There are always moments for that. But what we're really seeing take off right now is like, how can I gift my employees something that they can go in and like personalize on their terms and have a little bit more choice, look through maybe something that's curated, but that allows them to really pick the thing that's going to be most meaningful for them.
Yeah. I don't know whether this is a question or a statement, and I'm and I often do this, so I do apologize. But what we were talking about as a team only yesterday actually was the world of work is blurred. You know, it's just work at home. Everything is a very much a big grey area in life, and you can't really separate the two. And you'd have to be an ostrich with your head buried in the sand not to recognise the world's a bit of a troubled place right now. So how do we try and keep our people feeling safe in a work environment whilst also, you know, trying to allow them to detach from what is a pretty bad news cycle everywhere in the world all the time at the minute. And I was thinking that this might be one of those amazing ways where you can positively surprise, personalize, give great experiences that can be that disconnect or shining light in what might be hard life, hard news, you know, so a lot going on.
Absolutely. I mean, Blueboard's mission at the end of the day is to empower as many people as possible to challenge their comfort zones, try something new, or indulge in a passion. And going back to the idea of like, you know, I don't know about you, but like when I get a cash bonus, even as someone I make enough money to support myself, right? But that's going to my student loans. It's going to like my bills, just because of the realities.
Yeah.
Whereas an experience, like, it forces you, it creates this nudging effect where I actually, like, I've wanted to try pottery forever, but you have to like find a studio. There are all these like small barriers to entry, all these reasons not to do a thing.
Not to do it, yeah.
And as part of my onboarding gift at Blueboard, I was able to scroll through the menu and see a pottery class, and they take care of everything for you. So all the barriers to entry are gone. and I just get to go do a thing I've always wanted to do, and I was terrible at it, but it's just this 3 hours of like joy, right?
Yeah.
A little bit of discomfort, trying something new, something that helps me grow, and something then too that like my VP at the time had gotten into pottery over the pandemic, so I was able to come back and we could chat about, it's just like a new bridge, right? So
Yeah.
all of that matters. We are so stressed and isolated and lonely, like we've seen all those headlines from last year, and so it is so much about like how can we create these moments that foster well-being and connection, because we need it so badly right now.
Fantastically put. And I think we've got a comment from the audience. Danny Wareham says, for me, it's about how you foster an emotional connection between work and the individual. Experiential incentives are definitely one of the useful tools for this. And hearing what you've had to say, I agree. And when cash bonuses, I'm not going to turn my nose up at them, but they're going on things I've already spent my money on.
Yes.
So, yeah.
And that can be great. Like sometimes that's, we love that. And I would never say remove them entirely. But again, it comes down to like when we're thinking about how we want to meet people at these marquee moments and in general, and this is something we get into way deeper in the Blue Board method, is like thinking about these tiers of recognition and creating a holistic program. There is variance across that, and there should be variance, right? Like that's how we keep people engaged in the program itself, is with variety, but also thinking through like, what are we actually trying to accomplish at this moment? What are we trying to do here?
And what an amazing way to also, if you've ever read The Go-Giver, it's also a fantastic way of actually making your management level feel great about themselves as well. Because they're helping give these great experiences to people they value at work. And it's a two-way emotional connection, isn't it? So Greg, I know what from New York, says, agree that it can be hard to manage all of the milestones of your employees, and that's where the director manager can come in, since they should know the employee better than anyone else in the company. So I obviously was reading Greg's mind at the same time there. So, thanks for your comments there, both Danny and Greg. Is there anything else you'd like to add, Natasha? You're absolutely fantastic, and we'll be making this content available on demand if you're not already watching it on demand in the future. But is there anything else you'd like to add?
Nothing else on my end. I mean, I just am honored to be able to talk about this stuff. I really do believe in appreciation, recognition, and the power that it has to, I think it was, I'm not sure who just said it, but whoever just commented said about building that connection between an employee. We spend so much time at work, for better or worse. A lot of us derive purpose from work. A lot of us have really important relationships at work. And these moments present an opportunity where we as employers can say, like, we value you, we see you, go do this thing and we will sponsor it, and because we want you to be well, and all of that creates reciprocity, right? I believe in a world of work where it doesn't have to be transactional, where it can be reciprocal, and so just always excited to be able to talk about that.
And we've been honored to have you, so thank you so much. I hope you have a wonderful rest of the year. Long way to go, but I'm sure it'll go fast. And take care.
You too.
Thank you so much, everybody. What a great way to start the year. And as you heard at the beginning, a lot more to come. So I wish you all a wonderful, happy and healthy 2024 for you, your family and friends and colleagues. And see you soon.